Today is the 5th day of October. 5 days gone in October. 5 days more for elections 2023 in Liberia. Welcome to Elbc Radio 99.9 other stations across Liberia. This is the afternoon show called The Bumper Show. Here we bring you factual, balanced, reliable information on the national radio. Have you heard that we're going to cover the election in a special way? Yes, our radio and television services will be up covering all the 5,000 plus polling stations, 2,000 plus voting precincts, bringing you the actions, the assembling of election materials, the beginning of the polls at 8 o'clock on 10 October, as well as the voting process and the security. We'll be talking to each and every person who is a stakeholder in these elections, covering the presidential candidates. 20 persons for the presidency, 1,000 plus persons for the 55th legislature of the Liberian Senate and House of Representatives. My name is Isaac Red, assisted by Weah on the social media. Together we'll bring the highlights and the developments and updates here on the news. Elbc Radio, the national broadcaster, is there for everybody, so please stay tuned. Well, later on the show, I'll bring you different segments. We have a special edition of the show. One group is coming at 5 o'clock. Another group will come 30 minutes after 4 o'clock. The athletes, all those who are playing table tennis, volleyball, football, basketball, athletes of Liberia are coming to the radio at 4:30. Clark Wozing is the president or chairman for that group. But normally, before we start our show, we give you some developments in the news. I'm hearing that electricity is going around Liberia. This is a part of the government's responsibility. It's non-political work. The LEC is expanding its services across Liberia. LEC now in River G, LEC now in Cape Town bombing, LEC now in Bond County. That was in December of 2022. Now we want LEC in Grand Bassa County. The Bassa people are saying, yes, we have the plant here, but the West African Power Pool, we want the electricity in the homes. Homes are being connected. The people of Marshall too are asking for electricity. I know that English Town has electricity. That's good news. Electricity brings security, and light is life. My name is Isaac Weah. Welcome to the show. What is coming from the National Elections Commission? Voter cards. All these elections we've had after the war, we've always punctuated or always perforated the voter cards. This election, the biometric card, National Elections Commission says it's not going to perforate. Now, the chairman of the National Elections Commission, chairman of that commission is Anthony David Eda Brown Lasana, says and has reiterated that the demands of the opposition unity party calling for the punching of the biometrics card on elections day is impossible. These cards will not be punched. They are designed to last between 5 to 10 years due to their durability. It's not just about the cards, it's the entire biometric process, and that has cost Liberia more than 12 million United States dollars. She has said it. She said we spend too much money on the car. The car is durable. It goes 5 to 10 years, and we can keep punching it and destroy it. So there are measures put in place to ensure that no one votes two times or more than 2 times. The court of Liberia has cleared the Solicitor General of tampering allegation. Judge Roosevelt Willie of the Criminal Code A has found Solicitor General Nyanti Twan not guilty of a criminal charge of jury tampering. The judge decision delivered on yesterday, 4 of October, comes as a significant development in the ongoing trial of former Chief Justice Gloria Musso-Scott and her family, who are facing allegation of murder. Elections, everything we're talking these days about elections. Our security is on elections, so we got to be a little careful about everything and do it, because this is the first election after a couple of years that we are providing our own security. This is the election that we are funding the elections ourselves. The international community is giving support. A good percentage of the funding of this election will come from our national coffers. The taxes you paid on registering your vehicle, getting a passport, or paying your current bill are all helping to get these elections going. So is our money, we can use our money to destroy our peace. The National Elections Commission has declared that it is firmly on track with the deployment of electoral materials in preparation for the October elections. And as of October 2, the electoral body has claimed to have dispatched electoral materials to 11 out of the 15 counties, with materials of the remaining 4 counties being packaged. According to Weah Brown, the chairperson of NEC, that elections material have been successfully deployed to Sino, Maryland, River G, Grand Crew, River Cess, Grand Jide, Lofa, Nimba, Bapulu, Grand Cape Mount, and Bond counties, while materials for Monserrato, Bombing, and Magibi and Grand Bassa are currently being packaged and will be dispatched soon. All banknotes will be out of the market soon. This says those banknotes that expired on March 31 will be out of the market, according to the Central Bank of Liberia. So we bring our guest in the studio 20 minutes after 4 o'clock, and we'll start the conversation with him and shortly. But let me now go to chain of reports. Our correspondents are out and about the counties. Political developments, the elections is 5 days away, and 3 days from now we will be ending the campaign. The campaign ends at 12 midnight on Sunday, so all the candidates will have to rally their people between now and Sunday 12 midnight. Monday and Sunday and Monday, no campaign. I'd like to go across the country shortly and talk to a couple of correspondents where they are. Former Vice President Joseph Boyka has been in his hometown of Lofa, and then President George Weah is in his own hometown too. That's Grand Crew County, but he's gone to Grand Jide, River G, Grand Jide, River G, Maryland, as well as Grand Crew County. He will go to Sino, or he's already in Sino. We're having some network problem in Sino, so we're trying to check with our correspondent in a part of the country as to where the president of Liberia is. It was predicted widely that he would have gone by helicopter, by air, but then the president surfaced in Grand Jide on October 1, his birthday, and then went to River G, Maryland, Plebo, and Harper. Then, of course, he went to Grand Crew County. So I'm trying to link up with our correspondents in those counties to see whether we can get some updates as to the president arrival, departure, and most possibly his last trip to Riverside County. So if we can get them because of that network, we will definitely get them on for the news. You've been listening to a couple of reports around that political instability are imminent in Nimba County. There's some oil which is obtained from Nimba. I don't know why, we'll have to go through this, that people are training, but and journalists are threatened. Remember, we hope other countries are taking cue. We want to have a peaceful election in this period. Liberia moves on after October. Yeah, so let me go to the line to talk to I have Paul Ramsey, Joseph Wongwe from Nimba, Paul Ramsey from Grand Jita, and let me talk to Joseph first. Joseph, you were in Nimba. Before we talk to our still guests, what's the latest? What has been happening? The reports of journalists being threatened, and then it's escalating, and then training to in some part of District 7. We have those coming up on our news at 7 o'clock. But give us some updates on these elections or the campaign that is expected to end on Sunday, 12 midnight. Joseph, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Director. Good afternoon to all those who following us on the show.
Go ahead.
Relatively cool, and we have been observing the campaign process. For proud to a few days of the end of the campaign, like on Sunday, the official spokesperson of the Opposition Unity Party, Bob Cato, and the Secretary General for the Youth Wing have concluded like a 2 hours long meeting, and for the 14 blacklisted journalists. So appearing on one of the sister radio stations in Ganta, Bob Cato admitted that their target in this election is to make the sitting, is to also go after the 14 journalists that have been blacklisted and allegedly bribed by the Secretary General of the ruling coalition, including making President Weah a former president of this country. But besides that, Nimba is relatively cool, and other parties are currently observing their campaign activities in Nimba.
So Nimba is calm. Have you got any update on the training of people in district number 7? We're getting reports from Nimba of people being trained by 1C Welletua. Have you got any update on that?
Yeah, we have been getting updates, like I said on Sunday, Princess Goma and Bob Cato. They was also at the residence of Bob Cato in Sannikode on Sunday, proud to the campaign launching of one of their candidates in district number 2, where Bob Princess also brought some red t-shirts to also establish the 800 militants they have in Lopa. So they want to also establish similar groups in Nimba. And it was also established on Sunday, where they also distributed those clothes on the militants in Nimba, or particularly in Sannikode. And Princess left and went to Secretariat to also meet with the other guys there to establish those the group, so that when they see any of the blacklisted 14 journalists around them, to beat on them and to also go after them when they see them around wheresoever they will be launching their program. So yeah, it is true that similar groups, they have also been establishing it in Nimba, and where Bob Cato is in upper and Princess is in lower.
What has the local media done to avert any electoral violence in terms of pushing the message of peace? Nimba cannot continue to be in the news for training and rebel activity, bringing fear to the people of Liberia. What have you, the local journalists, done? And Nikroda, Association of Nimba Community Radio, what are you doing to ensure that you push the message of peace on Radio Setoa or Radio Senwe or Radio Leweyi, so that the Nimba people are not seen to be looking like a bad group of people as we go to these elections?
But when it comes to the issue of peace, most of the officials in the county, like the county inspector, B. Mike Boone, the superintendent, the development superintendent, they are always been pushing peace. even during the president's recent visitation to Nimba, he was also preaching peace and calling on Nimbadians to be very peaceful as they will be going to the polls. And the election magistrate of Upper Nimba, later GP, has also been calling on Nimbadians to see themselves or Liberians to see themselves in this election on ground that they should vote for peace or individual interest because going back to where we came from, we also like hand down class or Nimba County or Liberia for the peace that we have been enjoying for the past 10 years. So most of them, they have been preaching peace on the radio, and most of the citizens in Nimba County, like recent, the National Election Commission through ECOWAS, they also concluded a non-electoral violence conference, 2-day conference for youth and political parties across Nimba County in downtown, which most of them also committed themselves in making this election to be very peaceful.
All right, Joe. But before we leave you, although we will play shortly a latest video or an audio coming from Nima about a recent threat on some of the journalists coming up, we have to play that so the public can be on the alert and the security forces can put some of these things under control so it doesn't it doesn't advance to violence in any part of Nimba. But let me ask you about the National Elections Commission. You just mentioned that the Lower Nimba magistrate has been calling for peace. Upper Nima, I'm sorry. But is there any sound that you've seen of the deployment of electoral materials across Nimba County with the huge amount of district and kind of challenging roads?
Yes, the National Election Commission has also concluded the training. Recently, they concluded the training of the 26 electoral district supervisors. Director, as you know, in this year election, there are some things that will be taking place or positions that will be taking place into this election that haven't been happening, like the electoral district supervisors. Before then, we only have the ES, the PO, the VIO, and other people who have been working at the various centers. But this time around, we have also the electoral supervisors who will also be supervising the activities of election across each of the electoral districts.
Have you seen Joe? Have you seen election materials?
Yes, we have been seeing the election materials at the National Election Commission local office in Sanikule, and the National Election Commission magistrate in Upper Nimba also admitted of the free deployment of election workers because there are some places in Nimba that people have actually been experiencing constraints on reaching on time, like in the 2020 election.
So you're saying electoral materials. You are saying electoral materials, and you also can show us that those materials are protected.
These materials are highly protected, and even if you go to the National Election Commission office now in Sanikule, you will also see the presence of the state security, like the Liberian National Police. They are all safeguarding those materials. And whatsoever steps that have been taken by the magistrates and the associate magistrate is done in the presence of some of the political parties, including some state voters at the National Election Commission local office in Sanikule.
Okay, Joe. Thank you so much from Sanikule Nimba. Keep updating us on developments and all of the activities. We look up to you for an effective and elaborate election coverage on October 10th. But events preceding these elections, we'll be looking up to you for updates. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Director.
All right. Before I go to Athletes United for the re-election of President Weah, I'd like to go to Paul Ramsey in Grand Jide from Nimba to Grand Jide. Paul, how you doing?
Yeah, good afternoon, Director. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the listeners we have on this platform.
Paul, President Weah started his tour in the southeastern region on his birthday, October 1, in Grand Jide County. Give us a little more graphic explanation of his arrival, his departure, and the prediction in terms of what you think will come out of Grand Jide for the CDC.
Yes, so thank you very much, Chief. President Weah's birthday falls on October 1st, and this is 2023. And so he arrived in Grand Jide County, crossing the Cestus Bridge from Nimba County on the night of Sunday, October 1st. And so his arrival, though, was a bit late in the evening, but again was met by huge supporters from across the county. We have elders we have the traditional leaders, we have youth, we have auxiliary supporting auxiliary groups that also come from there, that have come from far and near to be a part of that welcome ceremony. We also have the local authority that came there, and so the chiefs and commissioners were also there to make sure that they received the president. And so the turnout at the Census Bridge was enthusiastic, was so overwhelming. And so after that welcome reception that was had, we moved into the toll city. But again, from the Census Bridge to the town, there was a heavy downpour of rain. So in the midst of that, the president was making some stops over Zletown. He stopped Toll Town, he stopped Zletown. Then he moved to Zwedru. He arrived Zwedru at about 10 something in the night. Okay, and at that time, 10 o'clock in the night, people were still outside waiting to see the president, to receive him. So then most of them said they waited the whole day, they stayed around, and then they waited, but again, they would patiently wait to see that the president arrives in Zwedru. So he arrived there in the midst of this huge crowd, and then the chanting of slogans and singing songs and clapping.
So that's usual of campaign. So slogans and songs and all the political euphoria are obvious. Yeah. President Weah is the president. President Weah is a candidate. Was he received as a president or as a candidate or as both? What was your own description? Because you talk about parliament chiefs, obviously the president is coming, the parliament chiefs will go, and then the candidate. So were people there in both capacity or in separate capacity? Say, let's go see the president or let's go see the candidate?
Well, from what I saw is that he was received as a candidate for the Coalition for Democratic Change, because there you could see everyone dressed in their party paraphernalia, and so all of them were in their blue, some of them were in their beret. So I saw that they were there as partisans and as supporters of Weah's second term bid. So we had a long time on the football field where the president.
All right, Paul, I have a last question for you. Put the two questions together and answer about the deployment of electoral materials in the wake of the challenging rules, whether the election commission have deployed, if you've seen them, and whether they are protected, the materials. And also, before President Weah entered Grand Jida County, the United Party Vice Standard Bearer, Jeremiah Kung, was in Grand Jida County. There are reports that people were there, oh, welcome Mr. Kung, but we're asking, but why Mr. Braga didn't come? Since after 2017, he didn't come to tell us thank you for the vote, and again, he has not come to rally us or to mobilize us. The concern were raised about his absence in the southeastern region. What's your experience about the election material and it's being protected, and then the absence of the United Party Standard Bearer, where people are raising a question about why he didn't come to the southeastern region?
Yeah, so thank you very much. He arrived, and so the night of his arrival, the vice presidential candidate for the United Party, Jeremiah Kung, was not in Zwedru, was not in Grand Jida. At the time, Kung was in River G. And so the information in the post that was shown showed that Kung was in River G at the time, and so he was not in Zwedru. And so that is about that. Again, about the electoral materials, I'm very close to the election magistrate office, and I'm going to do a follow-up. But what I saw today is that the CDC is conducting a kind of training for pool workers, all right, for supervisors in Zwedru, over 100 pool workers.
All right, Paul, kindly do us a favor. Try to do an update on the electoral materials. We can do all the campaign. We can do all of the euphoric political activities if we're done. Protect those electoral materials. We probably will not be having elections in Grand Jida. So check on, like you said, you do an update at the NEC office, talk to the magistrate, and let's see how secure are the materials. NEC has announced that it has deployed these materials ahead of these elections, October 10. Shortly, I'll be bringing the president or chairman, whatever he will call his own title, of athletes from the diaspora. Paul, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. But there is just siblings of violence that is spotting out today in Zwedru. Zwedru is a bit tense right now. And hello.
Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, so Zwedru this afternoon has been tense, and it started from a kind of confusion that broke up between the supporters of the Unity Party and the CDC. Okay, from an Atai shop, and that led up to the police station. But again, while they were at the police station, there was this issue of assault, and then they almost ended to blows. But then a few minutes after that, they moved to a center because it is expected that the vice presidential candidate Kun is expected to arrive in Israel today. So the supporters were gearing up, while the citizens were also on the other side trying to protect the man and prevent them from fighting. So there was a stage that was built by CDC during the campaign launch, right in the frontage of the Tottenham Palace, the home of the superintendent. So the citizens had that stage there and had been there. So United Party supporters decided to extend their own portion of the stage to that stage. And so they want to add it there so that when they come together, they can make use of that, something that displeased the citizens. So they said, no, but you can't add it to our own. So build your own separately. So it better let's remove our own. So in the process of removing theirs, there was this confusion, it broke out, and it was very serious. The police had to get involved, and that was how that stage was removed. Again, police took control of the situation because right now we have up to 50 or 60 police officers that have been deployed to this country to give support to the detachments in Israel. So
all right.
The situation is right now, but they are being placed under control. Police is in charge.
Good news. Thank you.
Right now.
Thank you, Paul Ramsey, Grand Judah County correspondent, fight over the stage. The CDC had their program on October 1, Sunday, to October 2nd, Monday, and then the stage still remain there. The United Party wants to extend and say we're news. So CDC says, no, you can use our stage. Just, go do your own stage in the wake of that commotion program. But we're glad that the correspondent is reporting that is under control and calm is restored. And the CDC has left Grand Judah in terms of the campaign of his standard bearer, President George Weah, and the United Party Vice Standard Bearer Jeremiah Cohen is expected in Grand Judah. Elbc Radio is 4:30. A couple of seconds from now, we'll have our studio guests on. Let me just take a break and say hi and welcome to our studio guests. This is Elbc Radio, the national radio. We told you that we have a special election coverage package coming up on the election day. We'll cover the polling centers, our correspondents. We're trying to get some stringers from other hard-to-reach area to give us updates on this election. So we'll be capturing the assembling of election materials, the queues and all the security arrangements, logistical movements, as well as the voting and the counting. You can count on us. We'll be all about the place as a national broadcaster to ensure that we do it balanced and accurate. Welcome to the Liberia Broadcasting System compound. You are one of those, I don't know why I don't like to use the word veterans, but old hand, veterans, yeah. But Mr. Clark Wilson, television journalist, welcome to Elbc Radio.
It's a pleasure of having me.
All right, sir.
Isaac.
You've been in and out of the country.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Mr. Clark Wilson is the chairman of athletes for the re-election of President George Weah, who himself is an athlete. So people from diverse sporting backgrounds or disciplines have, let me read it. I don't like the new big words, have come together for re-election of President Weah. So we want to define athletes and the different disciplines that are involved with this support.
Well, thank you for having me, Isaac. It's been a long time. How's the family?
Yes, sir.
The family doing good?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. A few months ago, in fact, prior to that, we've been thinking about how can we organize after other groups have organized, we thought that there was a need to identify with this president who we consider one of our own as an athlete on the world stage. We thought his re-election effort should be supported by athletes across the sporting spectrum. We're talking about basketballers, footballers, in fact, current and former sports enthusiasts, table tennis player, boxers, chess player, amputee players, both basketball and football, volleyball, kickball, you name it, basketballers, female. So we thought those who had like minds to come together and organize ourselves, which we did, and we launched this group sometime in August, and since then we've been working so hard to ensure that this president is re-elected. So we are very glad that we have organized ourselves, and we've been going into different communities. In fact, we've also identified coordinators in the different communities, which we consider districts from the constituency aspect, meaning the different constituencies, the different districts. We have coordinators in those districts, and we've been engaging the community at a lower level, meaning we small communities, small groups. We engage them and tell them about the achievement of this president. And if we look at the achievement of this president, Isaac, you realize that there are so many things the president was able to achieve in a short period, and that is commendable for the kind of vision that he has to move this country in a direction that is geared towards improving the lives of our people. So we organized ourselves, and then we were able to come and give the support that the president needs for his re-election effort.
I know you're chairman for Morovia-based athletes. Are you working along with your colleagues in the diaspora?
Well, not exactly. Well, we only have this for this election period, and there are some people who reside in the United States have given us the support. And the good thing about it is that if you look at the makeup, we have people from different sectors of the sporting arena, and including some of our prominent handlers. We have the chairman of the campaign who's part of this group. We have the Minister of Information who's part of this group. In fact, when this whole idea came about, I shared it with the Minister of Sports, Youth and Sports, Honorable Dees Yoga Wilson, who embraced it and told me to run with it. And here we are now, and we've been organizing in the different communities, talking to our people, educating them
across the country.
Well, due to some logistics, we've not been able to go across the country. But what we're able to do, Isaac, we're able to communicate with some of our people who live in different parts of this country to organize themselves. We have coordinators in Bond County. We have coordinators in Maryland. And those are people that we communicate with on a daily basis, and they've organized. And right now in Maryland County, they've been able to identify with the rallies that the president undertook in Harper.
Former athletes, were you organized as a body before to address issue of common concerns, or you just got organized because of political purposes?
Well, we got organized because we saw the need to support the president.
So you just got organized?
Yes.
Do you intend after president re-elected, or is not re-elected?
Certainly, we intend to continue this group, and if indeed we can get out of the support, we'll continue to support the president's initiatives and developments across the country, and we can also take it to other parts of the country to enlighten our people, former and current athletes, as to the need to continue to support the president in his development effort.
Do you have a grassroots support? When I mean, What do I mean? Is everybody who is a former athlete? Sometimes it's impossible to get everybody on board, but you have a majority of your colleagues who are former athletes identifying with you. I know that 2 elections or 3 elections, 2005, 2011, and 2017, James Salensa Diba, who could be a close athlete to President Weah, did not support him. So do you have James Diba join you? Now I heard he joined Move, one of the affiliate parties, and then pledged support for the re-election. Do you have people like James Diba who believes that this time around President Weah should get their support?
Well, certainly. I in fact, he's in a chat room with us.
Okay.
You may be surprised that when I spoke with him a few weeks ago, he told me that, well, you know what, I support the re-election effort of this president. In fact, there is an ad that I've heard on, I think, Elbc with the voice of James Salensa Diba. I think it was produced by Move, indicating their support to the president. And he said that he supports the president re-election effort.
Maybe this time around you organize as former athletes, in Monrovia. I know in elections before or campaign trails of the president, he's been having athletes involved. Not necessarily say vote for President Weah, but carrying the message of peace in these elections. Are you a full runner of the peace message that these elections is just on our shoulders as citizens to preach peace?
Precisely. If you observe this president from the onset when he took the mantle of leadership of this country, the president has been speaking and preaching peace.
That's the president. That's the president. What are you doing about going out there playing games and calling people after the games? Hello, we came to entertain you with soccer or basketball, but again, let's do this election in a peaceful manner.
Sure. In fact, what occurred in Lofa is an example of how we want to do things differently. Our approach is that we go into the communities, we educate our supporters that indeed be peaceful in your engagement, be peaceful as you go to the elections, and ensure that this president is a president who's leading by example. So educating our people, what happened in Lofa is unfortunate, but that tells you how peaceful our supporters have been. And indeed, because the president has been preaching peace, it has resonated with our supporters, with our members within the coalition for democratic change, and that's why it's unfortunate it happened in Lofa, but that's why they've been conducting themselves the way they conduct themselves.
Elbc Radio, the Bomber Show. I'm getting some indications from our Sino-Canada correspondent. We might interrupt Mr. Clark Wilson for a couple of minutes to talk to Sarah Alex shortly. But before Sarah comes on, let me try to, we're talking about non-violence elections. There's a audio coming up from Nimba, and everybody knows the historicity of the war in Liberia in 1990. We don't want a repeat of that. So some journalists are fearing that they've been targeted. I open the line shortly. I see the lines are so much busy blinking. I know you want to make an import on this election. We should focus on peace in this election. But I would like to talk to Sarah Ellis from Sino County. The president is moving from Grand Crew to Sino. Maybe Sarah has some updates for us. But I would like to play this clip from a journalist in Nimba about imminent threats against some journalists there. I hope I can get it as quickly as possible. And let me see, I can go on here on the show, and then Clark can make his view known about what we're hearing from Nimba. Poor internet, too bad. But this is Elbc Radio, the Bomber Show. Our entertain calls. We have Mr. Wilson here for the next 15 minutes. 15 minutes these days are so much, a lot of time for you to push your point. Sure. Mr. Wilson, go ahead. I'm trying to get my audio set. Are members of the athletes for Weah all sedition, or you have people from different political persuasions?
Well, the thing is the person who makes up his or her mind to join this effort. So from all indications, those are people who support the platform of the CDC. Those are people who support the platform of the president. But let me just make some points here, Isaac. The reason that people have joined the effort to re-elect this president so enormous. Let me give you a few points. Let's talk about the development that the president has brought to this country in almost 6 years. No one thought that the president will build a hospital in the western part of this country. That tells you that the president has this country at heart. No one thought that the president will build a 14 military hospital to cater to the health needs of our people. No one thought that the president, after knowing that doctors in this country were making 700 United States dollars and their salaries were increased to $2,000, to give them that impetus and motivation to continue to do the professional work. No one thought that the president, after UN left this country, and we had 3,500 health workers who were left abandoned. No one thought that he could put them on the government payroll to ensure that they continue to sustain themselves. No one thought that the president is now constructing the Redemption Hospital in the Caldwell area.
Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you about this. Or let me interrupt you, Mr. Clark Wilson, and bring you. Mr. Clark Wilson, let me interrupt you and bring this.
All right.
I'm coming. He said people like me who on a mission to spread false information about Unity Party. Who are paid agents? Our target is to get you and we are out. That's our target, not to attack individual life. So your target is George Weah and the 14 journalists. The target is to get George Weah out and to make sure that those of you who have allowed yourself to be compromised are seen that indeed you are not helping the country, and that target is to protect our vote at the ballot box. That's the focus we have now. The last time I can are there, and how to make sure that people we are sending at the pool are not people like you can manipulate. That's our target. Our target is not to go after the lives of Nyaflomo, because all of you already said people like me, Nyaflomo and the 14 journey are the target for you and the Unity Party. You just made a statement. You know what? You just made the statement that we are the target, including President Weah. And I told you how you people are the target now, to make sure that you people are defeated. All right. And before we can take leave of you, I can recall 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, the Unity Party issued a statement distancing themselves from the allegation leveled by you and Princess Doma. Are you still telling us that you still stand by your decision that this journey received the 14,000 and the statement for the Unity Party was a trash?
Well, there was an interview by the manager of Radio Kegoma in Ganta, Nyan Flomo Jr. His father is contesting in District Number 2 in Nima County. He's managing his father's radio station. He feels threatened, along with 14 of his colleagues, Kotin Nangwe, Joseph Solo, Joseph Kekula, no folks, a lot of other folks, Daniel, David 10, Daniel 10, there are 14 persons in Nimba feel threatened, and the party people said they were going after them because they are taking money from the CDC. I would just like to talk quickly, because this is about the elections and Nima is very key. I would like to talk quickly to Nyan Flomo Jr. He just conducted an interview with the United Party president who said they're going after George Weah and these journalists. I hope I can get Nyan on the line so Nyan can give us some other details, some of the threats on against them. We'll talk to you, callers. You'll be a part of the show. You can be assured that we'll have you give an opportunity. We have the next set of guests coming on the Bumble Show. These elections are surely about peace. There is a Liberia after these elections. Nya, you talked to a United Party person shortly before we came on the air, and now you are the one one of those persons threatening. Let me hear from you, sir.
Thank you. That was the spokesperson for the United Party in Nima County, Bob Kato, against 14 of Nima County professional sons who have served Nima County for the last 2 decades in the professional media these days. We are still being accused by the spokesperson of the United Party, and you play the audio. He still stand by his decision today, the 14 journalists who were alleged to have received this money according to broadcast, we cannot move freely in Nima County. But the other guys, according to the report, they have secret meeting in as targeting 14 of us. That everywhere the United Party goes, when they want to see what there, they will have us targeted. So that was the allegation. When I called Bob to find out his side of the story, he also confirmed that yes, we are his target. Or the United Party is targeting the 14 of us, including President Manneh, Weah. So this is the kind of situation we are facing in Nima. And since we started saying this, up to now, that we have a few more days to October 10th, nobody, the errors, the senators, even Senator Jeremiah Pampu, who is rescued too, and Ambassador Joseph Jima Broka, who they say he rescued one, they have never spoken and condemned this information. That was just an interview done yesterday, and Broka is still targeting us as professional journalists for the country. So, as I'm speaking to you, we are in fear. All of us, our life is threatening. Remember, Liberia is doing a very crucial election, and we need to be around to also ascertain some of the facts. So if the United Party spokesperson in Nima County is accusing 14 professional journalists of the county who have served Nima and the people of Liberia for over 2 decades to have received money from the CDC, it's sad, it's frustrating, and all we can say is that we are not safe right now in Liberia as we continue to receive threats for United Party. That's what I mean. Several of our holdings are also being receiving now threatening messages. Critical Farm, for example, the United Party guys have been testing Critical Farm, threatening him, including Joseph Wombe, who once went to his home gate to Buckley in district number 3 in and seeking refuge because of numerous threats they made a statement. Today we cannot move freely. We cannot go about our normal duty freely, and the United Party is still after us to display the audio. We are not safe. And the public is monitoring the threat from
Young Fromo Jr., have you folks reported all these instances, all these threats, alleged threats against you to the international observers who are in Nimba and the county authority, the security? Have you all made any attempt to get this to the international community?
Thank you, Isaac. We received a team from the European Union election observers. They met with the team for Ganta. In Ganta, you have Joseph, Emmanuel Freeman, you have Young Fromo Jr., you have the likes of a Prince, Bozua, and you have Mato Tupa for Ganta that were accused. We met with the European Union and we told them the threat that we have received from Unity Party. They also went to Sanikore and they met the guys from Sanikore. And I'm not too sure whether they went to Saturday to meet the other people because in Saturday you have Christopher Fan and you got Joseph Pekura. But we met them and we told them of the threat that we have received from the United Party that our life were not safe. We also they told us that they were election observers, and we told them, but since that from the angle of the European Union, it was necessary that you carry our message to the people from the European Union, informing them that we have been receiving threats from the United Party. Besides that, we continue to receive calls. But the sad thing is that Ambassador Joseph Juma Broka, who said he is the rescue father for Liberia, and Jeremiah Pampu, who got himself rescued too, who is hails from Nima County, have not condemned any of this statement from the United Party.
All right, we'll be looking out for you.
Besides protesting, maybe to become vice president, to go with Ambassador Broka, he's a senator for Nima County. It's 14 of Nima County professional journalists who work and make sure that the peace we enjoy today is being stable in Nima and other parts of Liberia, are being accused by the party contesting on to become a vice president of this country, and you cannot say anything that is certain about it.
All right. Okay. Yeah, thank you. We can't take much of the guest time, but we're concerned. We can't take much of the time from the guests, but we're concerned. We empathize with the condition. Remember, as a journalist, there's no story worth dying for. Where's the whereabouts of Joseph Solo, the one who is from Pabli and was accused of being a crown man?
Well, thank you. Joseph Solo, according to Unity Party, he ran for Lima. He was from Pabli, and also Emmanuel Freeman. They said the guys were from Pabli. As we speak, if I even call Joseph Soro and Joseph Freeman, Emmanuel Freeman will in the same moment, I'm to so place, but I cannot say where I am because we don't want to get our locations because we have been targeted by the Unity Party. So as we speak, Joseph Soro and Emmanuel Freeman, who hails from Pabli, they cannot get off their exact location because the way we have been treated by the Unity Party in Nima County. And remember that Tuesday is October 10th. That's the day Liberians will be going to the pool to make decisions for the next 6 years. All
right. We're watching, and then we'll be watching your back. We are all media people. We empathize with you. Just be careful how you go about covering the story, but don't be deterred. We all will look up to God for your protection, but there's no story worth dying for. Thank you, Nya.
Thank you so much.
How is the father campaign going?
Well, in October, decision number 2 is strong. It's
all right.
Charged, remember.
I hope you not be biased, though. I hope you not be biased.
No, in district number 2, remember that Honorable Yaji Flomo Hills from district 2, specifically from the Guy region, I got 3% contesting for that place. You got Jan Flomo, you got Bob Yele, you got Chester Sene, 2% for Dingamo, 1 is for Gab Boosie, and Honorable Flomo seems to be the threat of the election in the 2.
All right.
The reason is that most of the candidates, wherever they go to campaign, they will always tell the people that if you can't vote for me, vote for Mr. Flomo.
All right. Yeah. You and your father will find time to pay for campaign. The citizen candidate, the incumbent wife lifted the hand of Jan Flomo Senior.
Oh yes,
that news. That we want a video. Interesting. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
The reason why, thank you, Jan. The reason why we took a lot of your time, sorry, but we're talking about peace, and Nima is very strategic. Nima is the next county to Maserati in terms of the votes, 300 plus 1,000 persons, sure. And so anything, they say little things matter. Sure. Anything that comes up, we need to highlight it and raise the flag so that the security and all the international presence. So, what do you make of the conversation with the journalists from Nima?
Well, it's unfortunate to hear such happening. That is our 4th general elections since 2005. And I think as we entrench this democracy, the protection of journalists is very key, because those are the people that will go out there and to ensure, because they become the vigilant of this society, of this democracy, to ensure that it is fair, that it is free, and transparent. So it's very unfortunate that we have such a thing happening. But at the same time, we encourage them to continue to do what they do, because they take an oath to do it without fear, because without intimidation, and we believe that the international community is watching, and to ensure that they are protected by the society and the security forces. So.
I really appreciate your coming. We will have more time to do this. I bet you have an arrangement for the television on Friday?
Yes, I think I heard that.
All right, so let's keep our scheduling tight. Mr. Closing, parting words?
Well, yes, the closing argument, Isaac. Unfortunately, they've eaten my time. But here's what I will say in closing. This president has demonstrated leadership. This president has demonstrated that he can lead this country for the next 6 years. This president, and there are 2 categories I can describe him within the leadership style. He's a servant leader, and he's a transformational leader. Someone who has transformed this country, someone who is transforming this country. And
Mr. Closing, we'll keep the rights for the television. You come from a television background, so I know you do more on television. When is it, Friday?
Oh, yes.
Friday. Thank you for coming.
I appreciate it. Thank you.